you start feeling increasingly creative. You have to start celebrating the small bits and the rest will follow. That's just a tip. So how did I start this? So in short, I have, and I don't know why, I have an extraordinary love for clothes. And I think it might have come about because I think I've always had it, but when I was younger, I had a problem with food and my body. I had all sorts of body image issues, and I could never really feel good about the way I looked. I didn't like the way I looked in any clothes. And so I would convert them to sometimes just style conversions, like everybody does. But I knew how I wanted to look, and I was very specific, and I never wanted to look like anyone else, but I felt restricted because I didn't want to draw attention to parts of my body, but I wanted to look like I had style. And so there was always this line, and I think probably I became a bit of a scientist in that art. There's a sort of oxymoron there. An artistic, well, there we are. No, a creative scientist. That's exactly what I've just said.
I love it.
So yeah. So I think that happened. And I went into look at the part where we are now, and I for my journey, because I'm a commercial person and I love industry, and I really commerce and business. And so I'm sure if I'd have kind of always followed the artist.
Oh, I lost you. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes, okay. I can see you now.
Oh, okay, I lost you for a second. Just now you are.
I know.
Perfect.
And now I'm going to turn it this way. So that's it. That's better.
Okay, that's better. Yes.
Okay. Yes. I'm not sure I would have ended up in the place where I feel like I can have the greatest impact that I want to have on the planet if I hadn't come down a more commercial, route, a drier route. And I did always connected to my love for fashion. I was working in a bank, and I remember before kind of leopard print pony skin became popular, I would be wearing these pumps around the trading floor. And I remember such a drama queen, but I remember kind of styling myself with honestly, my hair in a great big bun, and just like a dark red lip and like a slick eyeliner. I just going into every morning I would create myself as somebody else, like with a load of bankers. They'd just been like, what this woman's doing, I don't know, but I enjoyed it. For me, it was part of the fun. It we were talking about it elevating your mood. I just really enjoyed it. Nice. So that's how I kept my creativity in there. And then Converted Closet started after I had my child, and I realized that I started to learn about the sustainable fashion industry, and I realized I thought everyone converted their clothes. I just genuinely thought everyone was out there converting their clothes. Nice thing to do, isn't it? And realized that actually they weren't. And then I started putting two and two together and realized that first of all, I can't use the word upcycling because that just sounds like recycling, and that sounds like plastic bottles, and I'm not wearing anything upcycled. I'm a lover of very high fashion, so I thought, right, well, let's just rebrand it as conversion, and then immediately cooler. And then oh look, this movement actually addresses the two biggest issues in the fashion industry, which are consumption and waste, at the same time. That's a bit of a no-brainer. And so it's now just become my life's mission to make that commercial, because I really think once we start making sustainability commercial, we're already beginning to do it, but I think that's what I'm really excited about doing. So that's now what Converted Closet and conversion has become.
Awesome. Because just last night I happened to watch a bit of the Great British Sewing Bee, and it looks amazing. Brilliant. That program, they take patches and they make some
brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing. I never knew about that program, but just before our interview today, that episode was saying, the guy was saying that at the present moment, there are enough clothes to dress the next 6 generation of people. So if you want to watch the replay, today is the 28th of May, I think. So yeah, 28th of May was last night's episode, and the program is called The Great British Swim Bee. 6 generation of people right now, and we keep producing clothes. It's crazy, and they end up, most of them, in the landfill.
Yeah, it's something like 87% fiber input for clothing gets burnt or landfill. So it's I've just always like these stats. 70% of materials used in fashion are brand new, and at the end of their life, 75 to 80% end up in landfill. So, you know, what we forget is that every piece of new fashion we buy is basically the product of natural resources from our planet, of which there are a limited amount. And when we put it into landfill, which we have to, like 75 to 80% of the time, because that's what happens, and we can't recycle it yet. The tech's not quite there for most of it. That's like, we're then polluting our planet with it. So we reap all the natural resources, we wear it a few times, and then we dump it in the planet. And then we do. And there are billions of people doing that all the time. And every second, an enormous truckload of textiles gets dumped on. There you go. That's what's happening. And what, you know, conversion is like, well, we're going to take all that dead resource, because people wear 20% of their clothes in their wardrobe. So the clothes you're talking about are mostly in people's wardrobes. They're obviously in charity shops as well, but we're all guilty. We take every resource, the clothes that are already mixins of clothes, which are effectively meters of perfectly good fabric. And instead of dumping them into landfill where they pollute our planet, we turn them into an economy. And we get people using them and creating fantastic new original fashion, which saves people from going out and sucking the planet for new resources. But you know what I really believe? It's only going to take off when it becomes ultra cool and everyone's doing it, and the top of the fashion chain are doing it. You know, and we got it's at the moment, I really still think upcycling is a bit of a dirty word, and that's why I just can't even use it. And my job is, part of my job is to help to make this movement cooler than Balenciaga. I will be happy when people are like, I'm wearing conversion, not Balenciaga.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Balenciaga, I'm paying.
But that's the thing. I believe that I was guilty of overbuying stuff in the past. I was not feeling good with myself, or whenever I felt empty, I would buy clothes and bags. And that was a mindset problem. When I work on my self-confidence, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't need stuff. And it's actually what I really admired when my granddad passed away. We went through all him and my grandmother's stuff. They kept everything with so much care. They had the clothes very well kept. They still had the cutting board that we saw in the old pictures of when my mom was like 8, and they still kept the same cutting board. There was a care for things, and things were made even better. Nowadays, when you wash a t-shirt, after the first time it becomes shorter, and things are made fast. And I believe in the past things were made better and they were made to last. Now it's like, buy more. But as I say, if we make this cool, we can change. And it's always start from someone, and then it's like a domino effect. Like, since I've been into, I had no idea, me, Janine, I can make a small change in the world. I had no idea. But actually, these companies understand money. So if we stop giving our money, this is a fake 500 euros is a specimen. But if this is what they understand, before, supermarkets were not doing organic till we started to want organic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if we all raise our voices and say we want to get less clothes but better quality and they last, then the companies need to either make us happy or do something else.
I agree with you, and I think there's a way of speeding that up, because honestly, I know that there are all these stats out there, and I think is it Generation Z? I think it's that the kids, they are saying en masse they're looking for it all. Of course they should be able to have the fashion they want in a completely sustainably. But I think there are many generations that aren't quite there in their thinking, and I also think when push comes to shove and you really want that fashion fix, it's still like, okay, I think we have to make it incredibly easy for people, so there's really no choice. Like, it's basically the same choice, you're going to do the right thing or not. And then I do think we have to make it cooler. So I don't think we can rely on people from the goodness of their hearts wanting to do the right thing. I just don't think that the masses are there yet with it. I'm moving to America in August, and I'm gonna love America, but I think there's a lot of work to do there. Like, we forget how ahead we are in our thinking in Europe, and they don't even know. They don't, like, most people don't even know that Rent Runway is a huge company in America now, and obviously it's a much more sustainable way of consuming fashion because you're wearing it once and giving it back. But most people just are wearing Rent the Runway because it's affordable, they get a bigger choice of wardrobe, it's convenient, great. And then you say, oh, it's really sustainable, and they're like, oh, excellent. So I think it's the same with sustainable fashion. You've just got to make it cooler. You've got to make it a badge of honor. You've got to and actually give people even better fashion. You have to give them better fashion than they can get from the shops. And I think conversion does that as well, because you always get offcuts. When you convert something, you get pieces of fabric, and you can make bespoke accessories with them that you cannot buy in Zara. You can't buy like a matching band or a really cool cuff that you can wear with your summer dress, like a strip of fabric, and you can't make laces for your shoes out of strips of fabric that you've had left over from a skirt. There are so many cool things, but when you go outside and you wear one of those little things, that sets you apart. Well, for me, you know what? It's all about how we feel inside. When I wear a little accessory that I've made, I get, lots of people are like, oh my God, that looks really cool. But more than that, I feel like people are like, it's like people can't understand how that happened, because it's like, how did she get that? Like, that must be a really special piece of clothing, because it came with its own skinny scarf. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And your experience, how much of our wardrobe in a percentage we use?
The statistics are, I'd like to be able to do my own research, but I hear it all the time. I've done lots of research. It's 20% we wear.
I believe
on
that.
average.
I think I'm guilty of that.
During this time, during COVID-19, I think I would probably say 1%.
Yes.
I mean, God, we're not wearing any of it right now.
Yes.
The stretchy part we're wearing.
Yeah. And I'm wondering how many of us will have problem to fit in the jeans. They're starting to get too tight for me, so I think I need to be more careful and break my relationship with the fridge. But
you'll be introducing more people soon.
Yeah, but you were saying about the project you have to start to rent clothes. Would you like to tell more about that? That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm working with the UK's #1 rental company, which is My Wardrobe HQ, and they effectively rent clothes from lovely wardrobes to people, and I think it's a really great business model. so what I've decided to do is to create a collection of